Hi. Hello, everybody. Okay, my connection's weak, so I don't know how long I'm going to be on for, so I'm going to try and keep it quick. And I'm just going to jump straight into it about I'm going to talk to you about vendor events. Okay, because I've got one coming up on Friday. It wasn't my intention to actually have a stall because I'm organising it, and I can't really be in two places at once, but it's kind of fallen that way. So I'm doing a Pamper and Prosecco night on Friday night, and I'm quite excited about it actually. But how do we get going on choosing an event or finding an event as well? Now there's different ways to find your events. Easy peasy, you just go on Facebook and you just do a cry out, just put a post out. I'm looking for vendor events. Anybody know any that are coming up? And you'll find that a few people will comment. If you're in a network of network marketers, they'll probably put you in the right direction as well. So Facebook's a good one. Stall Finder as well. There's a website in the UK. I don't know if it's in America as well. Stall Finder and Eventbrite as well. So those are websites that you can search on. Local schools, churches, organisations, non-profit organisations, they're usually in the market for arranging events, craft events, ladies' nights and what have you. So keep your ears to the ground for those. Get on your local like your local school website, your church website to see if they've got any events scheduled, and your Chamber of Commerce as well. That's quite a good place to start. Some banks, I know Lynn talks about the Barclays Bank. They help small business owners, and you can do a little pop-up shop in there as well, so that's worth looking at. Other ways of getting your name out there as well is doing like a little put box. So if any of you actually work, or if you go to work or know people that go to work, like say for example, you can just get a handful of mascaras together. You put them in a put box and you give them to your friend and just say, there you go, somebody that you trust obviously, there you go, there's 10 mascaras, you sell those and I'll give you one for free, kind of thing, that sort of thing. So that's a good way of actually getting your name out there as well. Now when you do find an event that you want to attend, you want to see what is included in your table charge. So some events will ask for, in the UK we have public liability insurance, which we need. It's not essential for all events. Some of them call for it, some of them don't. So check to see about insurances. Also about tables. Some events don't even provide you with a table. So is your table included? Is there a tablecloth included? What size table is it? Is it a table or is it a 10 by 10 space? So those are the kind of things that you need to be thinking about as well when you're setting up for the event. Advertising. Is the event holder advertising the event? What sort of advertising are they using? Are they going through local TV, local radio? Are they just going through their social media avenues? Because we all know that Facebook withholds some information. Not everybody sees everything, so there could be 20,000 subscribers to Joe Bloggs Emporium, and only 5–10% of the people who subscribe and follow that company will actually get the notifications. So even though they've got a good following, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's going to be seeing their posts. So they may ask you to share the event as well, which is a good way of getting your followers there as well. So it's doing a little bit of a you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So you say like, oh, you know, Crafty Creations is going to be there with their glitter glasses, or I'm going to be there, you know, I'm going to be there with my unique products, kind of thing. So it's a good way of actually building your relationship as well, and also getting to know some of the stall holders. So if you see some of the stall holders are in there, send them a friend's request. You know, I'm appearing with you at such and such event. Just be nice to get to know you and what have you, and then talk to them when you get there. So that's a good way, and it just gets your network opened a little bit more. So definitely share the posters for the event, because that's a good way of getting more footfall in there. And have the event holders actually held the event before? If they have, you know, what sort of footfall have they had before? Have they had lots of people turning up? Have they been successful? You know, I mean, or have they been a flop? It's usually a good indication on what kind of management, how the management goes with the organisers, as to roughly what the event's going to turn out like. So just a few things to be mindful of when you're actually signing up for your event. Now, when you get to your event, what do you need to do? Well, first of all, your table. You need to make your table stand out. It's got to pop. It's got to draw people's attention. And I mean, I've got some pictures of some of the events that I've done in the past that I can share. I just need to get out of them off my phone or on my computer, wherever they are, just to show you some of the things that I've done. So with your table, you want to put it on different levels. So a good way of doing that is when you get your tablecloth, you put boxes underneath your tablecloth, and it just gives you that little bit of height. I've also got photo frames. They're a good way of getting a little bit of extra height on your table. One of the first Pamper events that I actually did, I just took a great big flower in a lovely tall vase, and I just put that on the table, and that was holding one of the photo frames. And it's just that little bit of interest on your table. It just kind of draws your eyes, because I've seen a lot of people just literally just lay everything on the table, and it just looks like loads and loads of product, and you're looking at it and going, yeah, I'm not bothered, I'm not interested, it's boring me. So by creating that interest and doing little pockets of displays, so you'll do a display, you know, a photograph with your 3D mascara, for example, and in front of it you'll do your 3D mascara. Maybe on one side you'll do a display with the presenters kit, with the new presenters kit. I need to ask Sally if she'll lend me her bag, actually. So do a display with the new presenters kit, with all the products that you get in there, and details of how much it costs. You know, business in a box, $99, £69 it is in the UK. And you have a little display on there. And another selection would be, you know, maybe the kudos for the month. So people can see the little bundles that Younique put together, and maybe also the collections. So if you've got a current collection bag, maybe put a current collection bag with some of the boxes that you can get in the collections. Like I've saved my royalty range boxes, for example, and what I could do with that is I could put the bag with some of the boxes for that. It's just keeping it so that there's like small clusters of interest, over basically just over facing your table. Okay, I've just made a few notes here so I don't forget anything. Printed matter. Now, posters, and I've got a what have I got? What's it called? A banner. I've got a banner that you pull up. It's and I'll show it to you. I'll do a live on when I do my event on Friday. So I'll show you this big banner that I've got. It's the one that I actually been doing a few lives with as well. So banners are good. I mean, if it's your first event, I wouldn't go mad and go buying loads and loads and loads of things, because if you don't like doing them, then you've spent all that money on what, you know, it's just basically money down the pan. So I'd try and keep it in a reasonable price range, just in case if things don't, if you don't enjoy it, then you've not basically paid out loads unnecessarily. My first event, basically I've got a black flat sheet from a bed. It was a brand new one, I bought it. It was basically a king size flat sheet I bought, and that goes over the top, and then I've got a purple crush velvet throw, and that goes over the top of that. And it's just to add that little bit of variance, so a little bit of colour, a little bit of shimmer, and I've actually got some lights that went along the front of it as well, which were really nice. So printed matter's good. So photo frames with pictures of the 3D mascara. Those are a good thing to have. Again, I'll show you pictures of those as well. Pictures of the results that you get from the mascara. The Love It guarantee. We've got a picture of that just to show that there's a Love It guarantee, and people will look at the picture and go, oh, what's that all about? Oh, we've got a 2-week, we've got a 14-day Love It guarantee. If you don't love it, you can send your product back, you know, and you get a refund, full refund, no questions asked. And that's a good talking point for people. Hiya, Gemma. That's a good talking point for people, because not very often can you actually send your makeup back. You try your mascara, you try your, you know, your Maybelline or your number 7 and what have you. You try it, you can't take it back to Boots and say, actually, no, I don't like it. You know, it makes my eyes itchy, or it doesn't give me the volume that I think it should. Not very many companies will actually let you take your makeup back. So that's a good selling point as well for the business. And it's a good way of getting people to actually commit to buying. Because people tend not to like changing, but if the change isn't actually going to cost them anything, if they don't like it, they're not out of pocket in any way. So that's a good talking point. So the Love It guarantee on a little picture frame is a good talking point as well. And again, it just adds that depth to your table, just lifts it up a little bit. Tablets. Now, if you've got a tablet device, what I've done on previous events is I've basically copied each page of the catalogue, I've downloaded it each page by page, and I've put it into a PowerPoint presentation. And I've put that together on PowerPoint, and basically I've just had it on loop. So it's drawing the eye. As people are walking past, the pages are changing. Oh, what's that? And it just draws the eye away from somebody else. It's just movement on the table. Exactly, Gemma. Once you've used the product, that's it. People aren't interested. So yes, PowerPoint presentation is a good thing to have. I mean, I've got, I was actually going to show it to you. I've got a tablet, and I thought that there was a presentation on there, but I think it must have been the old catalogue, so I've taken that off. So I've got to do that for Friday as well. Blitz cards, business cards as well. If you've got your business cards, have them to hand. I wouldn't have everything on show. I'd put them to one side, so people have to ask you for a business card. It sparks up that conversation, and it'll just give you an idea as well as to the level of interest that person's actually got in the business, or the interest in the business, or the interest in the products, or basically are they just taking your business card just as a conversation starter and ender and walk off. So it'll just give you that opportunity to strike up conversations with somebody. So your business card is a good thing to have to hand, but just slightly out of reach, so that they've got to ask for it. And Blitz cards as well, them are a good handy tool as well. Catalogues. Now, I have this catalogue, which is a replica of the unique catalogue. Let me just get it into shot there. And this is basically, it's a really hard, it's a really thick, good quality catalogue. If you don't have one of these, then the catalogue that comes in your kit is fine. And they're very tactile. I do love the catalogues that come in the kit. If you're having one on display, just make sure with all of your catalogues that you've got your details on the back of them, because if somebody walks off with your catalogue, how are they going to know? It's just covering all of those avenues. Should I say attitudes? It's covering all of those avenues. So if somebody buys a product, I wouldn't recommend just giving your catalogues out to anybody, because they are an expensive commodity. So if you've got your Blitz cards, then hand the Blitz cards out over the catalogue and just say, there's my Blitz card. We've got an online catalogue. I can email it to you. And again, it's another conversation starter. Now, with the catalogues, they're kind of coming to the end of the life. I think it's end of February when the catalogues expire. and I've got a handful of catalogues, so I'll be handing them out, and I'll be putting them in any orders that I get. So what I'd say is, if you do get any cash and carry orders, pop a catalogue in. Bags as well. Bags are a good thing to have. Now I've got a whole range of cash and carry stuff. Hang on a sec. Oh, sorry about that. Right. Now for my cash and carries, I have these little paper bags with little twist handles. And also, because I can't get hold of the unique paper, I've got purple tissue paper, and it just makes it that little bit more thought of. If you hand somebody a mascara, there you go, £25 for the UK, $29 plus tax, they're going to look at, yeah, okay, thanks, and there's just no thought put into it. But if you can put it into a bag, you've then got your bag for your catalogue. You've got your bag for a couple of blitz cards, a couple of business cards as well. So pop a couple of extra in there, so that when they go home to the friends and go, oh, I've just bought this mascara, it is heaven. You want to look at it. Shows a mascara. Where'd you get it from? Oh, I don't know. I haven't got a card. So always make sure that there is a way for that person to pass your details on to somebody else. So put a couple of extra cards in, put a couple of blitz cards in. Just cover yourself for the extra network. Okay, capture forms, information capture forms. If you are doing a giveaway or a prize draw, because that's one way of getting information out of people, and getting people to actually talk to you, you can do a prize draw, or you can just do a capture form. So you get talking to somebody. Oh, would you mind just jotting me down your details? I'll find you on Facebook, and I can send you some more information or something like that. So you'll need some form of getting information from people. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing it on a list, because then people can see who's been before them. People can see how many people have been interested in it. And if you've only got a couple of people on there, people are just like, yeah, okay, not very interested. But at least with a capture form, you take it away, you put it away, people are none the wiser on how many people you've spoke to, and you're happy in the knowledge that you've got the details. So you do a prize. This is a prize draw form, and all I've got on there is your name, email address, mobile phone number, Facebook ID, and I've just put winners will be announced by a Facebook group, blah blah blah. And then I've got a little bit at the bottom extra about I would like to know more about hosting a party, becoming a presenter. And it's just getting some more information out of people. And it's a good thing as well. Use the back of it, write a little bit of information about them. Joanne, she's got twins. She's recently started a new job that she doesn't like. Make a few notes about the person that you just spoke to, so that when you go back to them in the follow-up, you know you're talking to. They think that they know that you've taken the extra time to remember a little bit more about them, so that'll sit better with them. And it's just building that bond with them. It's all about building friendships. If you come away from your event without making a sale, it's not a problem. So long as you've attended your event, you've spoken to people, you've spoken to the event organisers, you've spoken to stall holders, you've spoken to people, people know who you are, they've started to get to know you, then it's not a failure just because you haven't made a sale. That's one thing that people need to remember. It's not a failure. I went to my first ever event that I went to. We were stuck up a corner behind a door that nobody really passed. And for me, it was a good experience. It gave me a good feeling about how to lay out the table. It gave me the confidence to go out and talk to people, to other stall holders. And it gave me a little bit more confidence about the products that I knew. I knew more about the products than I even thought that I did, just by talking to people. And you learn more when you're talking to other people about it. If you're worried that you don't know enough about the products, get yourself a little folder, and you have a little section product information, section it off, eyes, lips, royalty range, bronzer. Section it all off so that you can see straight away, okay, somebody's after the royalty range, blah, 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 right, okay. This is what's in it, and it just gives you a little bit of a cheat sheet to go back to. Okay, so you've got your capture form, prize draw. If you are holding a prize draw, I don't like doing it because there's a lot of people out there that just after free product. So what I would say, my suggestion, if you want to do product, that's absolutely fine. My suggestion is you do a voucher. So you do a voucher, $5, $10, £5, £10, whatever you feel is appropriate for that niche, that market. £5 off a purchase, your own purchase. So they can then decide what they want to buy. They want to buy a mascara and they're getting $10 off it. They're going to be pretty chuffed about that, and it just gives them the choice of what they want to buy. And if they don't order, they win it, and they don't take you up on it, you are not physically out of pocket. So whereas I've noticed, if you give them free product away, you don't know if they like it. You can follow up with them how you're liking your product and what have you, but you don't know if they like it or if they're just saying it. So by giving them a voucher instead of product, it just means that you give them the choice. If they don't take you up on it, you're not out of pocket. Just to, that's just one of my feelings about it. As I say, if you want to do free product, that's entirely up to you. Next one, order forms. If you are taking orders on the night, now obviously we've got various different ways that you can order with Younique. You can either do them, orders directly straight there and then. People might not necessarily want to go on your phone and go, this is my credit card details, go order online, this is my credit card details, because me personally, I wouldn't know what software they got on the phone. They could be thinking, they could have some spyware on there, and I'm putting my password in and my security code on my phone, and they could clear me out. You don't know. But obviously there is the option there and then. They can place the order on their phone at the event. If it's somebody that you know and trust, or you can take deposits, or there's other ways of doing it. One of them I've got is an order form. So I've set up my own order form, and basically it's name, address, full address, the order date, email, telephone number, Facebook profile. So basically another opportunity for you to capture that information. So you're capturing their information. They're writing the details of what product they want. So we've got the product details on there. And then they can basically, you photograph this. So with your phone, you photograph it. So then you've got a record for your order. They take the order form away with them, and then you take a deposit off them. So they're ordering a mascara, you take a 50% deposit off them, or a $5 deposit, or whatever. So you take a deposit for that, write it on the bottom, X deposit taken, and then you place your order, or payment in full. Some people might be a little bit apprehensive about paying in full on the night because they don't know you from Adam. They might be a little bit more dubious about giving you half, a deposit payment as well. You don't know. But these are all things that you can try as well. So you've got your order forms. And another thing as well is, if you do make any cash and carry sales on the night, is you need a form of invoicing. So you can either take your order form, so your order form, you can label it as either order form or order invoice form or order receipt or something like that, and then you can cross off whichever's applicable. And then you write the details of the sale on there. So your 3D fibre lash plus, the amount paid, blah blah blah, and that goes in the bag with the product. So there's always a way that somebody can get in touch with you. At the bottom of your invoice, you need your contact details in there as well. So it's basically a full invoice receipt with your contact details in, your website, your name, your address, your telephone number, it's a way for that person to keep your details. We've got the money back guarantee, the Love It guarantee. So this is their guarantee that you're actually going to fulfill that. If you just hand them a product with no receipt, with no invoice, with no way of getting in touch with you, they're probably going to be a little bit more dubious about it. And in all fairness, they are, because I have dealt with people at events that I've done that say, oh, I bought that mascara before and I wasn't keen on it. And I said, well, did you not get back in contact with the person so that they could sort it out for you, because it does have the money back guarantee? Oh, no, I couldn't. I got no details for them straight away. So it means it tests your authenticity. If you are basically showing people, this is me, this is how you can get in touch with me, people are going to trust you. Trust is a very difficult thing to actually get. Once you've got it, it's worth its weight in gold, and it's giving people that opportunity for them to trust you. Okay, so you've made your sale, you've got your table all set up, but what about you? Be approachable. The amount of people that I have seen in events that sit down behind the table like this. Oh, it's boring. Oh, there's nobody here. Oh, you know, they've not made an effort. I don't remember seeing any advertising for it. People don't want to know. Get up. If you think that the event is a flop, then chances are it will be, because that's your mindset. That's the way that you are feeling about that place. And those people that are sitting there with their arms crossed, that's what they're going to get out of it. They're going to get nada, nothing. Get up. Stand up. Be approachable. You know, be proud. This is me. Look like you know your stuff. If people see somebody that's happy, that's friendly, you want to be talking. If you're doing your event with one of your friends, you know, you want to just be talking and having a laugh and a joke with them. If the event is very quiet, then take the opportunity to talk to some of the other stall holders. Talk to the event organizer, you know, get a feel on whether they've done it before, you know, do a little bit of talking, get to know people that are there with you, because that's how I've got to know about some of the other stalls that I've done, is people that I've friended through those events have then come back to me and said, oh, there's an event at Caverswall Village Hall, and I'll have a look, and if it's something that I'm interested in, then, you know, I'll make inquiries. But it's all about finding those little loops. And, you know, people that are doing, stall holders that are doing that event, chances are the granddad will come, you know, their auntie will turn up, their nieces and nephews will turn up. And if you talk to them, it's basically forming the bonds with them, so that, you know, the person says, oh, you know, who's that girl next door to you who's doing that makeup, that looked really nice. And if they didn't like you, or you didn't make an effort, well, I don't know. But if you did make an effort, then it's another way into other people. It's another way into other people's networks. Because if people see that you're approachable, talkative, then you're going to get those sort of recommendations. And also your appearance. I wouldn't recommend turning up in your slacks, your yoga pants, your Adidas shell suit kind of thing. I would say make an effort. You don't have to go whole hog. I wore a black dress for a wedding event. Basically, what type of event you are attending, you need to maybe tailor your look for. I'm doing this Pamper and Prosecco evening on Friday, and I'll turn up. I'll go in a black top and black trousers for a wedding. Like I say, for this wedding event that I did, I went in a dress, I'd got my sash on, I'd got my hair done, it was all curly, and I really made an effort. And I basically just fed the event that I was with. So basically it was just making the most of the event and fitting in with the event. So you do your hair, you do your makeup, you look the part, but not over the top where people will just think, oh, she looks a bit stuffy. So it's just finding that balance. And another suggestion as well is, if you are doing your events and you're doing your makeup, do one eye with your mascara. Either turn up with no mascara on. One of the events I did, we did demonstrations, and I did the demonstrations on the mascara. So I was there, we had a little sign saying mascara demonstration, 2:15. And I sat there, 2:15, the crowd flocked. And I was there, I sat on the chair, and I'm there doing the mascara. And the faces of some people was hilarious. They were just like, what? It's like they grew in front of my eyes. I am not kidding you. Some of the girls in there, they'd never even heard of Younique, and they were gobsmacked. I have not seen anything so amazing. So that's a good way of showing people how easy the product are, and the effects that it can actually have. You can either do that, or you go to your event with one eye done and one eye not done, so that they can see, or one eye done and one eye done in your normal mascara. And it just gives them that visual. People like visual aids to help them to understand. So those are a couple of tips. If anybody's got any questions, I can't see what you've written there, Gemma. Like the woman said on the front. Be at the front, not behind. Go to them. Yeah, definitely. If you're sitting there behind the table, there's that barrier between them. People think that you're not approachable. By being out front, you've got that maneuverability. You can talk to other stall holders, and you can get a better feel of the venue by just being up and about, and have a bottle of water to hand, because you will be doing a lot of talking. And my mouth's getting dry now just talking to you guys. So imagine a 3-hour event with nothing there. So there's just a couple of tips there for you from what I've experienced. I will, if you want me to, I can put pictures up of the forms that I've got. Basically, they're all created by me, and they're probably not perfect, not by any means, because I'm not a professional event person. I've done 5. But I've got such a buzz from doing it. I've come away and I've been on a real high from it. I've come away, some of them have come away with orders, some of them have come away with names, some of them haven't really amounted to much. The wedding fair, we spent £85 on the table, and that yielded nothing, because obviously with it being a wedding fair, people prefer makeup artists. People want makeup artists, not somebody that they can do, whether they can do it themselves, unless if they are, happy to do their own makeup. I wasn't. When I first got married, makeup scared me, so I ended up going to professionals to have my makeup done. Fast forward 7 years, I'd probably do it myself. I would do it myself, there's no question about it. And I keep saying to my sister and my mum, let me do your makeup for Joe's wedding. I'll do that. Don't want my makeup doing, I'll do mine myself. So yes, it's basically looking at the event that you're doing as well as to what sort of feedback you're going to get from it. There's a lot of people there that will go to events looking for freebies. We did look at going down the line of doing a load of samples for the wedding fair. And did we? No, we didn't. I don't think we did. Did we? I thought we did a load of samples actually. We were going to go down the line of doing a load of samples. We've got these tiny little organza bags, and we were going to do the samples. And actually, in all fairness, it was the colours that are in the sample card that they're doing now. And this was before they brought sample cards out. So we basically took the best sellers, or the most natural looking ones, and we're going to put them in these sample pots, and we were going to hand them out on the night. But it fell on me to do it all, basically, because the group that I was with, they kind of left a lot of it to me to do, because I'm gullible. But I mean, that's another thing that you can do if you wanted to do samples. I do find though, I'm a bit in two minds as far as samples go. I do find that they can actually be detrimental to your business. Somebody will try it because they're in a, certainly the foundation, don't ever try and sample the foundation, because the sample pots are too big. You get your air in there, you put you touch liquid foundation in, and it dries, it oxidizes and it dries. So I wouldn't recommend sampling the foundation. I just think it kind of, it gives people an out, whereas if they actually go and buy the product, they've still got the 14-day guarantee with it. So like I say, that's why I was a little bit miffed with the samples that came out in the back office, because I really would have loved the royalty range samples, because I think those are a really nice gift to give people, and they're a really nice icebreaker. Whereas all the other makeup that they do in sample forms is kind of a, you know, I think it's a bit of a cop-out them doing what they've done. I wanted the royalty range in a sample form. Maybe it'll come eventually, I don't know. So anyway, there's some tips there for you. I'll have to amend the header just to say, make sure you take some notes, because I just put, I just labelled it vendor events, I think, didn't I? So anyway, I think that's pretty much everything that I've got in my notes. If there's any questions, just pop them down below. I mean, I'm guessing that girls are still mulling around in bed and what have you, because it's early in America at the moment. So any messages, any questions or anything, just let me know, pop them below or send me a message. I hope you found this helpful. I will post, I will post some pictures of some of the events that I've done, if I can find them, just to give you an idea on my table layout. As I say, mine isn't perfect by any stretch, and I do look at it sometimes and I think, how can I better it? How can I make it better? How can I make it more more shocking to the eye? How can I draw more people in? So if you've got any, certainly if you see any of the pictures, if you've got any tips, any suggestions, I'd be over the moon if you share them. So I'll catch up with everybody later. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'm going to put the rest of my stuff back ready for Friday night. So have a lovely day, and I'll speak to everybody soon. Bye bye.